The Hight Today Show live from the Creek in the Cave studio with Victor Martinez Jr. Here with Billy from Glassmith.
Yep, Billy Mars and the Glassmith.
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Just enjoying my morning or a day.
Yeah, afternoon now, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stepping away from your busy life. You just opened up a new shop?
2039 Airport Boulevard over here on the east side.
And that's your fourth location?
Fourth location. Yep.
Where's the first one at?
2512 Rio Grande.
Is that the up north?
Yeah, West Campus.
Okay. And that's the one near all the little food area? Is that the first one?
Yeah, well, the other two were also food truck areas.
Oh, okay. Oh, so maybe, all right. I'm not too sure if I've been to the first one then.
Yeah, West Campus. Like it's in a food truck lot for sure.
Uh-huh.
But so is Cesar Chavez and 6th Street.
Okay, so I think, all right, the one I'm thinking of is kind of in the middle of campus over there.
Yeah, that's it. Well, West Campus is what the area is called. So campus is like where UT is. Mm-hmm. And then where all the students live is West Campus.
Over there.
So that's where I'm at. It's
that's
right in the middle of the student
spot.
housing.
That's the heart of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's grown since I've been there.
They say it's one of the most like when school's in, it's one of the most populous square miles in the country.
Really?
Yeah. Because everybody, there's just like, they just have it stacked up. Like just people living on top of people.
And how long you been there?
2014. So 10 years.
What got you into this?
Glass blowing. I was a glass blower, just like glass blowing professionally, probably for 4 or 5 years before I opened the store or the trailer. And and I wanted to make more money. I was like, dude, how do I make more money than making these pipes? And I was like, well, I can make better and better pipes. And I was trying that. I was on that hustle. But I also was like, man, I need a place. So that's when I was like, well, let's do it a trailer style because Austin, food trucks is like kind of, I guess not so much anymore. But at the time, that was like anybody talking about Austin was like, oh, let's go to a food truck. Like the scene was real popular that way. So I put 2 and 2 together and started.
It still feels like it is
the first smoke shop.
But like they're more the trailers grow. Like it starts off as a food truck and then it gets extensions on it. And then now, like, it still looks like just something that rolled up, but you got all this stuff built around it.
Oh, yeah, deck, a couple refrigerator outside, like chips and all this stuff.
Yeah. They just start growing roots.
Yeah. And well, all the food trucks, there's a lot of regulation on them. So you're not allowed to have anything around the outside. You're not allowed to build anything like that. With a non-food truck, the rules aren't so tight. Not that much enforcement on it.
Why'd you get into glass blowing?
I was weed dealer in Georgia, and my wife wanted to get me out of that, and so she moved to Austin, or she wanted to move to Austin, and because Austin's a hot spot, she's like, "Oh, Austin's fucking popular. Like Austin's popular. Let's go there." And she was right. She made a good move. So we came out here, and I was trying to sell weed in Georgia because that's where we came from. So I was flying back and forth. And it just kind of, the hustle kind of out there evaporated. And so I was looking into more ways to do something out here. And so I was looking into classes so I could sell bud in Austin. I was looking into different classes online. One of the classes I found was a sailboat racing class. The other class I found was a glass blowing class. The sailboat racing class was free. The glass blowing class actually cost a good bit of money. Like the dude had quite the hustle going. But so I started doing both, but the sailboat racing was kind of a scam, and there wasn't like
you weren't racing sailboats.
That was the intention. It was like rich guys that need sailboat racing crew, so they find people who are interested in like they sell it. They're like, do you want to learn how to race a sailboat? So, but you're really just learning how to be a crew member. And if you're a good enough crew member and you're into it enough, then you could actually go race sailboats.
That's kind of fun. I mean, at least you got on one probably then.
Yes, but it wasn't like you were learning anything significant until you had gone and shown the interest again and again.
It takes a lot to like build you. They start you from the very bottom.
Yeah.
Before you ever think about being in a crew
and the class was full of squares. There weren't a lot of weed smokers out there. So I was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
And so the glass blowing class is what I ended up taking because I was like, well, shoot, all these fucking stoners.
Wait,
I gotta be able to sell some weed over here.
You joined the class to sell to the students.
Well, all right. So getting a job, it's like if you want to be a responsible employee, you should tell your employer what you're going to do. So I always had a certain bit of responsibility in me. So getting a job in Austin, I would go to these job interviews and I'd be like, hey, man, I'm in Austin 3 to 4 weeks a month, and then I'm gone for 1 week to 10 days. And it's like, I want a job, but I can't do this. And it was like being upfront and honest with anybody. I could never get a job. So because what are you going to do? You're going to hire some kid to work as a busboy or something? Because that's the easy way. If I want to sell weed, if I want to hustle some sort of drugs, is get a job in a restaurant full of young people, right? Outback Steakhouse or something like that. But you can't go up, or I couldn't go up in there with the false premise that I was going to be this great worker. And then really I wasn't going to be that great of a worker. So I tell them my experience. I tell them that I was like, yeah, but I leave once a month. They'd be like, so what do you leave for? I'd be like, well, I got some family issues in Savannah. But I wasn't like, oh, I got to go out there and sell bud. So I couldn't really get a job. So the classes was the way that I decided to go about it. Because a class, I'm paying for it. Like if I want to leave, I can leave. No big deal.
Okay.
And that glassblowing school, it actually turned out like I couldn't sell that much bud out of there. A bunch of broke people. You know what I mean? So it wasn't this plethora of students that were just like, oh, dude, sell me some bud. It wasn't about like, I guess my hope was that a bunch of rich people were taking this class to learn how to blow glass. In reality, it was more of a sweatshop. And that's how I ended up blowing glass, is that I said, if this dude who's teaching me, like, quote unquote, like, if he can do it, then I could just do this on my own. I could make the product on my own. I could sell the product on my own. All the equipment to start up is only $2,000-$3,000. At the time, I was kind of a hustler, so I had $2,000-$3,000. So I was like, well, shit, let's just, like, me and a couple other people from the studio were like, let's just go start our own shit. So that's how I ended up blowing glass.
I mean, do you enjoy it?
Blowing glass?
Yeah. Is it a passion? I mean, is something you slipped into?
Both. I think really slipped into it, and then for a while, I got super into it. But when I started, the idea wasn't to be an artist. I've never really been an artist. And then I fell into a career. Well, in this career, the more artistic you get, the higher you rank, right? Like if I'm an artistic figure, I then make more money. So I really kind of try to dive into how to be an artist, like how to make things that were worth more money, how to look at things with symmetry, all the shit that I never even really thought about before. One of the things that I struggle with now is I'm on the back side of this, right? So like now my smoke shop that I opened, because I was really trying to double up my glass money. So you make a product and you sell it to another smoke shop. You sell this thing for $17. They turn around, they flip it for 40 or 45. You know what I mean? Me, I was like, well, shoot, if I could open my own smoke shop, I could flip it for the 40 or 45, and my glass blowing job becomes so much more lucrative. So that was
so you opened Billy's Glassmith.
That was the attempt, yes. But then subsequently, like in the last, I'd say like right the year before COVID, is when jewel pods really started hitting, like that everybody wanted a jewel pod.
Right.
So kind of it was a smoke shop resurgence, and I was already in smoke shops. So I kind of got the tail end of jewel pods, but then I caught the disposable vape right after, and then Delta 8, and then like Delta 9 gummies, and then THCA, and now like the bigger disposable vape. So it's like almost the money, like since I've been in the business, the world has granted me with more and more stuff to make money on. And so now I'm in this kind of weird like mental predicament as to what I like am I what I started as? Is that just what I am?
It sounds like you've kept the heart of a businessman all the way through it. It's just a journey in and out of all that.
Which is very true, but like it's like, then do I go back? How far back into the art? And well, art like is kind of everywhere. Like in what I'm doing, I'm trying to be creative. Like I'm not trying to do the same shit as everybody else, but it's still not like it's not like making something like glass blowing. You know what I mean? So like you do a building, or you're an interior decorator. Like are you an artist if you're an interior decorator? Oh, you got to ask Trey.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no one, you bring your own flavor to anything you do, right? Even if it's like something that literally anyone can do. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, and everyone knows that a Billy Glassmith is different than, any smoke shop, like any iVape or fucking Planet K's. Like you guys got your own thing going on. There's an immediate flavor to them. Even the outside ones, you can just tell by the, like the staff you got there. You guys got like a little family going on.
Yeah.
And y'all stay close together, and y'all do events together and stuff like that. Y'all got the podcast together. I can tell, like they, these guys, they like what you're doing. They're following you, And they could like, it goes the same way around for anyone working for you. They could be working at any of these smoke shops. They choose to work with you, right? Like,
True story.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something there, man. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing it. So I mean, you were talking about the vapes. That's like a topic all on its own.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I remember before COVID hit, people were talking about popcorn lung, and then all of a sudden that just disappeared.
Well, okay. So,
yeah,
basically, not to dog out Americans too much, you know what I mean? Like, but we see the shape, and the shape is what's important. So you take this distillate that fucked everybody up with this popcorn lung, you know what I mean? Or whatever vape it was, and you move it from a pod or from a cart, and you move it into a disposable device, and it's just a brand new thing. So the people that sell things can just kind of move it from one thing to the next. Like so what I've noticed in like the nicotine vape industry is that if a brand gets too big, so when Escobar made $1 billion, I don't know if Escobar made $1 billion, but I believe they made $1 billion.
Those are the first guys to promise a certain number of hits or something, right? Like they had like 5,000 hits on the box.
Yeah, 2,500.
Yeah.
Right? So like, and before I think them was Puff Bar, like they stepped up the game. The device was better. It really took everything by storm. Well, once they got too big, the government came in and red tagged them from China, so that Escobar was no longer allowed to be imported. But as soon as you knock off the biggest player, 6 other players grow up. And then so in a year from now, the FDA will probably come through and they'll red tag like Tyson, Geek Bar, a couple different kinds of nicotine vapes that are out there, because they're playing this fake whack-a-mole game. So like if you have a kid and your kid comes home with an Escobar, you get up in arms about Escobar. This is kind of the same theory as the cart, like with the popcorn lung. Right, so you're a mom and you say, I got Escobar is fucking up my kid. So if the government says, well, fuck, we got to do something about Escobar, so they kill Escobar.
To be fair though, I mean these things look like toys sometimes, and they got fucking flavors on them. It's like whoa, like fucking cotton candy.
Like
shit.
I got some at the shop that have a video game on it. Like you could play Tetris on this fucking vape. It's crazy.
I've never heard of that.
It's out of control.
I gotta see that. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm starting off with the first one. Like, what was it, Juul?
Well, Juul came, and then the FDA, they said pod-based devices aren't legal. And I got all worried. Like, I'm a businessman. I'm like, oh my God, I sell so many Juul pods. What's gonna happen? What am I gonna do?
That was the idea, because disposables weren't that big yet.
They hadn't even come in. It was almost like disposables were just waiting for their time.
Yeah.
Like Juul needed to get banned for a dispose. So like as long as there was a mango Juul pod, they could have controlled this shit. Like it's the crazy part about it is Big Tobacco bought this and still couldn't control it. So Big Tobacco bought this great brand and they killed the best thing about it. But as they killed the best thing about it, they handed a bunch of money to China. Because all these brands, like Escobar is an American brand, but this is essentially, it's like most of the brands are Chinese brands, like coming from China as with an American label, but there is no American in this company. Or if there is, it's like just some dude on the ground to make it legal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And so like,
it's like a secret China tax. Like, we do this trade war shit with China where they talk about like, oh, we're engaged in talks to bring our tariffs up and down, or China's the enemy. But they have this weird ass backdoor shit with these vapes. Like I'm telling you, this is like a huge fucking non-taxed, non-regulated industry.
Because it's constantly changing. That's the issue.
We get it all from fast. All this shit comes from Shenzhen. Like Shenzhen, China is where is
that where you buy like batteries?
Well, I don't buy yeah, but that's where they all, like every box of vapes that comes in, Shenzhen.
No kidding. I wouldn't know, man. I couldn't point that out on a map or nothing. But shit. Okay, so you deal with that, and that's a thing on its own. That's not even weed. That's just tobacco, and it's already all that shit you got to keep up with. How the fuck do you do it?
Well, like we were talking about, is like there's a lot of people on the team. So like there's people like like when you're, I guess there's a lot of people that we have, and then when you're in the flow, you're not changing over everything at once. You're just changing over one thing. So as Juul pods are going out, one other thing is coming up. And sometimes, like right now, I think the overall industry is really fractured. It's hard to know what's going on next. But you're not guessing at everything in the store, you're only guessing at a few things. And if you guess on a lot of things and then you take the fail, the winners rise and the fails just kind of, they fall off.
And so, what's it been like? We were talking about earlier at the bar, the competition. Now that you're seeing, the success, you're building up shops.
Oh, with the THCA, like basically with the legal, like the quasi legalized weed in Texas, is people have realized it, and now shops are opening everywhere. Like, I don't know if you've noticed yourself, but there's a smoke shop on every corner. And so really the only way of differentiation is to have people, and like people in display that lead the consumer to think that you know what you're talking about more. So like it feels better to buy the same product from me than it does a store that obviously doesn't have a stoner working at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we have a bunch of people that are just smoking weed all day. So when you walk in the store, it smells like weed. The dude that you're looking at, his eyes are all red, and you say, "What are you smoking?" He says, "Oh, bro, this Jeremy Green's is the gas." You know what I mean? And then the dude who's in there, the young lady that's in there is like, "Oh, Jeremy Green's then. I'll take that." You know what I mean? So which leads so much more credibility. That was one of the thoughts behind being a glass blower. Like, I was like, man, you open a smoke shop as a glass blower, you have all the credibility. At the time, the industry was more built on glass. Now the industry is built a little bit more on actual bud. So like if I was a weed grower, that's what I'd really be pounding home. I'd be like, I've been growing weed for 40 years or 20 years or however long. I opened up this store in Texas because the rules got loose enough so that I could bring you the best cannabis flower in the country. You know what I mean? And that's how I'd really be pressing it. I'd be showing off on my grow shit. You know what I mean? I just happen to get in the industry and move, like, kind of be in the overall cannabis industry. And glass was kind of my avenue to stay in it after I got it out of actual flower, I guess. So, but that glass was also the popular avenue at the time.
And now it's coming full circle. I mean, you were doing it on the back end, and now you can just sell it right out of your fucking shop.
Back. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's really wild.
And that's going good now.
Yeah, seemingly. So there's always like the speculation, like today, my wife just sent me that some House committee passed an amendment to the Farm Bill to take away all the kind of Delta stuff. But that's just a committee in the House of Representatives. So like I tend to stay not so paranoid myself. But there's always kind of, you know what I mean? Like I think one of the hard parts too about the business, I'm always on the chopping block. So I just invested all this money in this really cool store over here on the east side, 2039 Airport Boulevard.
Go check it out.
But it's if they take away the THCA like overnight, I just be like, damn, how do we keep all this fucking shit on? We're growing propped up. So then, can we do a podcast? Can we do this or that? So it's like grow as fast as you can while there's growth, while the razor's edge is on this sharp edge up. And if it hits that sharp edge back down, hopefully we can cut quick enough and move to whatever's going to be the new way to make money.
Start blowing glass harder again.
Well, oh yeah, way harder.
Man. And that's that's the idea of what the future's going on. What got you started with the podcast? You guys what's it called?
The Glassmith Pod.
All right.
Yeah, nothing too crazy there.
What do y'all talk
content, about? Fuck. Like I was saying, internally, one of the dudes working for me, he's like every once in a while he'll get in my ear and he'll whisper, he'll be like, Billy, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're a bunch of nobodies talking about fucking nothing. And I'll tell you what the crazy part of it is too, is that whenever something happens, all right, so we just had these Palestine protests at UT. Where like legit horses fucking trampled on college students. You know what I mean? People got arrested. There were like people, like water bottles were thrown. Like there was this kerfuffle. Most of my staff is college students. They don't want to talk about this. Like they're very they're very activists. They're activists in heart. But to go on camera and sit around and talk about actually something is very difficult. So what we'll talk about Kendrick and Drake. Or I guess last week we did a politics. We talked about if you'd vote for Biden or not. So we're trying to get a little edgier. But so we're kind of all over the place. A couple weeks ago we did a smoke off. We just got really, really stoned as we could get.
Oh my God.
We tried to see who faded out.
Like how so? Like bong to
just
bong hits?
I think we passed joints and dabs all the way through. Like it was
fun.
like Yeah, and we all made it, but like there was definitely a winner. The kid, the youngest dude on the pod, he took we have this, it's this 750 milligram syrup, and he drank most of the syrup,
It's
and
a lot.
he stayed in on the shit. And as soon as this was over, I went home and fucking fell asleep. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was so fucking stoned, headache. Same as my other guy that was there with me. He's like, dude, I had a fucking headache. I had to go home. So then fucking Sir Spice won.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah.
get a little groggy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a couple days off. Fucking A. So, Billy, I mean, you sold weed. Any fun stories there?
They have fun.
What got you into it? Did you just start smoking?
Just ever since I was young, like wanting to be a businessman, but also wanting to be like a con man, like, or not a con man, like run afoul of the law, like be a gangster. You know what I mean? Like all this, like Al Capone stories and stuff like that.
You
Like
want that.
that was always where I was more intrigued by younger. So it was like having something that was illegal and
You wanted to
still like
run moonshine.
even in Georgia, weed was generally, I considered it safe. Like I never thought like about selling cocaine. I think a couple times I had some Oxycontins in my possession or something. But that was like like at the time pills weren't what they are today. You know what I mean? So like it's some acid or shit like that. But I always stayed away from like the harder shit. And I always thought that was like a way that I could kind of like dip my toes in the wild side, I guess. Like consider myself the rapper that I listen to. I guess
Do you rap?
No.
Okay.
But I know what people
Who's your favorite?
I know what rappers rap about. You know, I
who
guess
do you
when I was
listen to?
younger, it was Jay-Z nonstop, just because that was the drug dealiest rapper.
He did
I
it.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually did it. I heard he's next on the chopping block with all this
yeah.
revelations going on.
Man, it's crazy how rich, famous people do rich, famous shit. You know what I mean?
I guess that's a good way to put it.
They just don't stop. Like it's like when you have the freedom to do anything, don't you just start kind of doing anything? Like it's like, all right. So I'm sure there's famous people that don't, but there's the intrigue of like, I'm not a religious fellow, but like the intrigue of the devil is always there. So like whatever you're allowed to have is cool, but then as soon as something becomes like risque, you might want it more. As soon as you can do something to like more control, more power, it's like, I don't know, it's the amount of powerful people and rich people in our society that have been caught up in this. For us as a society to still be shocked about it.
Yeah.
It's like,
anybody in that position, it's
like from Boy Scouts all the way to rich moguls, you know what I mean? Politicians. Like
it's the cliche, if you get to that point, did you sell your soul? Or, how much, once you start getting into the billions, like how humane of a person can you be?
And why, I guess the other philosophically, how could you be?
Right.
Like, how do you value the same things in the same way? Like, it's like, all right, so you're just a regular guy. You have a regular wife. You become Jeff Bezos. Like, you're like, well, shit, I don't want a regular wife. I want the best wife. And then if you're not in the public eye all the time, or if you don't give a fuck about the public eye at all, you say, well, I want 2 wives. Or, shit, what would it be like if I have 4 wives? And then after you have 4 wives, what do? You say, well, damn, should I get an old wife or should I get a young wife? I want a young wife. You know what I mean? I would just imagine.
Nick got like 12 kids or something like that, 12 baby mamas, 8, something like that. Something crazy.
And then the line in our society, you can see how people try to toe it and how it's changed. Like, I don't know how old you are, but
30.
I'm 40, so I'm a little bit older than 40. So I'm from a time when a 16-year-old and a 40-year-old would date. Like, I'm not that, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. As a high school kid, I used to hate these older motherfuckers that would kind of dip into high school. Like, I mean, like this dude around my town, he had a Jetta, like this one of these old school 80s Jettas with the fucking chrome rims. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the magazine, but like growing up, he had like the Jetta. And this dude had to be 24, 26, 28, just pulling up to the high school every day. And it wasn't like people didn't know about it. It's not like it wasn't, you know what I mean? So essentially what's acceptable societally is swinging so radically in so many directions. And if you're super wealthy, fuck you, there are no lines in society. There, you just take all the lines away and say, I'll do what the fuck I want. In that case, I'm sure a bunch of motherfuckers get caught up doing a bunch of fucking shit, or do a bunch of shit and maybe don't get caught up doing it.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Not trying to give any fucking passage to these guys. It's just like fuck.
It's just the lifestyle. It's
I'm no
true.
longer even like Jay-Z. I liked when I was younger, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
The associates he's had have all been caught up. You know what I mean? Like R. Kelly got caught up back in the day. Fuck, you know, like Michael Jackson before. You're like, whoa, there's just all these stars that do crazy shit with fucking, like, why wouldn't this guy who's along the same lineage, hanging out with the same people, having the same producers and all the same kind of consortium of rich music people around, of course you're in the same shit. Just like it'll be for y'all with the comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, small circles. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you see all the same people. No, it makes sense. Yeah, that stuff intrigues me too.
Crazy.
The newest one I heard was that Jay-Z trafficked Rihanna out of Barbados or something like that, and then like brought her under his wing, and that's how that all happened. Imagine.
Crazy.
The one I do believe in with Drake happening now is that he killed Triple X. I think.
You think so?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He talks about it, and he got a teardrop tattoo after the kid died.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Drake is just like, isn't Drake a rich guy?
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part for me. Like, he's just like a rich guy. Like, he's always kind of been a rich guy. So like, why is he gonna dip? Like, why is he gonna dip down into this and do it and then say it? Both of them are kind of like, they're just so far out there.
Yeah.
Credibility is important, I guess.
Yeah.
But he lacks credibility anyways. Like,
That's exactly
as he
it.
was doing all
he
this,
wanted some
he
credibility.
still lacks
It's just like, I gotta
credibility.
kill someone anyway, just for these fuckers to respect me.
It's definitely something rappers rap about. Is putting the money to the hitters, so they can go out and hit somebody.
It's fun stuff just to look at. It's
Uh-huh.
like, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know any of them.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I wouldn't hang out. Like, I like listening to Kanye. I wouldn't hang out with that guy.
No, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be one in our lifetime.
Mhm.
Like the shit that we will find out about Kanye is gonna be just out of fucking control. Like we're gonna be old and we'll be sitting there and like people around us will be like, can you believe it? And I'll be like, oh no, I could fucking believe anything that they come out about Kanye. I could believe it.
Yeah. Richest black man in America.
And
$8
crazy
billion
as fuck.
just off of shoes and beats.
Crazy. Just
It's
crazy.
insane. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? It takes that. That's what it takes to get to that point.
Yeah, true story.
Oh man. Fucking A, Billy. What else is on your mind?
I don't know, man. It's been pretty chill. I've been working graveyard shift because we're trying to be open 24 hours. So I've been just up all I switched up my sleep pattern from day to night, and it really fucked me up overall. But I'm kind of coming out of it now. Been in a lot of beefs that I wouldn't normally be in. A lot of with my man, I just can't get along with my wife right now. Yeah, it's a real struggle. And the employees at work been in a struggle. Like, it's just like the switch from the switch from day to night. I haven't been like Batman with it. Like,
they know you're grumpy. You know, that's what it
Grumpy.
is. That's all. It's growing pains.
It's been really interesting to take on like a stress load, but then on top of it, another stress load, and see how, like, I don't know, looking at it, it's like, because I can kind of, like, I can feel it and I can see it, but I can't control it. So I'm watching this thing that I know is happening. It's almost like a car crash that you can watch happening. You're like, damn it, I fucking wrecked that. I saw the cone, and then you still run into it. But nah, so nothing serious. Just trying to get through the next session. You know, we have our grand opening on Saturday, June 1st.
Okay. Coming up.
So hopefully right around then is when my whole life is gonna ease up, and I go to Italy on June 10th to 20th.
Oh
Italy.
shit! You and your wife?
Yeah. So
That's
hopefully I
beautiful.
can hit peak stress and pressure.
What are you
and
gonna
then
see
just
out
hit
there?
this kill release. She's got us going to Rome, and just seeing the sights of Rome. Like, I guess we'll go to some catacombs built with skeletons.
That's cool.
And then we'll go to a lake a little bit north, some hot springs and some chilling.
Yeah,
Should
you've
be
been
cool.
out there
Eat
yet?
some- Nah, no, I haven't been overseas like that since, like, not to Europe since I was 9. Yourself?
I mean, I've been to France. I've seen the Eiffel Tower. I've been to Europe. I don't remember. I saw Big Ben, I guess. But That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I want to go back. I got to get my passport. I got to get some shit together. But yeah, man, that's fucking cool.
I'm thinking I'm gonna double out of the country this year, like last year, and like every year, like it gets so hot here in August. So I'm like, I gotta get out. Last year I went to Maine and just kind of hiked around Maine in the rain. It was cool. It was really cool. It's like it's 100 down here. It's like 65 and raining up there. This year I'm gonna go to Calgary. Calgary, Canada is like where like Banff. I think it's called Banff, but it's some national park in Canada.
Okay.
So at the end of July, I think I'm gonna fly up there.
Beautiful.
And that's a direct flight from here. So passport.
Go out there, disconnect, and just like
Try to get out of beat the heat. That's the biggest part of it.
It's fucking hot out here.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
I mean, it's nice in here. But
Yeah, really nice in here.
it's hot. It's hot at night. My balls sweat.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, dude. Fucking A. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, dude.
Oh man, thank you very
This
much
has
for
been
having
fucking
me.
fun,
Really
Billy.
appreciate it.
I like getting to know you. I don't know if I'll be able to make the opening, but I'm going to come see
And
the
if
new
you can,
spot.
please do. Please
Yeah,
do.
definitely. This will be releasing on that day, so that'll be perfect.
Oh, cool.
I didn't even plan that.
Right
but that's
on, right
perfect.
on. Nice.
Fucking A. Anything you want to say before we go?
Nah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Please visit any of our locations, watch our pod, check us out, the Glassmith, all the places, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Fuck yeah. I'm Victor Martinez, and this has been motherfucking the Hight Today Show.
Hight
Thank
Today.
you guys so much.